of shadows. The wind is howling tonight, Ebra. Can you hear it? It carries his rage.
It carries his anger, Baba said, his voice heavy with worry. I held my swollen belly, feeling the baby inside me move nervously. The air felt thick, almost too hard to breathe, and deep down, I knew something terrible was coming. Chinyu suddenly burst into the small hut, her eyes wide with fear, and she was breathing fast. Ebera. He's here. I can feel him, she whispered, her voice shaking. Patrick is close. I felt a cold sweat on my skin. I didn't need Chinyu to tell me, I could feel it too. A dark presence, heavy and frightening, was drawing near. The air itself seemed to tremble with his power, making it hard to think, hard to move. Where is Baba? I asked, my voice unsteady as I tried to stay calm. He said he would protect us. Chinyu's hands trembled as she grabbed a talisman from the altar. He's preparing the final rites, but we don't have much time. The baby, it's coming. And Patrick knows. A sharp pain shot through my stomach, and I cried out, bending over as I held my belly. The baby was coming too soon, driven out by the dark force that wanted to claim it. Panic rose in me, threatening to drown me in fear. We need to get to the sacred ground. Chinyu urged, her voice rising in fear. It's the only place where he can't reach you. I nodded, forcing myself to stand despite the pain. The sacred ground was our only hope, but every step felt like a struggle, as if Patrick was pulling me back. When we stepped out into the night, the village was silent. Even the crickets had stopped chirping, as if the whole world was holding its breath. Shadows flickered at the edge of my vision, and I felt like Patrick was watching us, waiting for the right moment to strike. Chinyu grabbed my hand and pulled me forward as we ran through the forest. The trees loomed above us, their twisted branches like hands ready to grab us. The wind howled, carrying a chilling whisper, "You cannot escape me, Deborah." Fear gripped my heart, but we couldn't stop. We were close, so close. The sacred ground was just ahead, marked by a ring of old stones that glowed faintly in the dark, a small hope against the growing shadows. Suddenly, a thick fog swallowed the path ahead, and I froze. A figure stepped out of the mist, tall and menacing, his eyes glowing with cold, eerie light. It was Patrick. "You think you can run from me?" His voice was a low growl, filled with a hate that made my blood run cold. "You and our child are mine, Ebera. Our bond cannot be broken by your silly rituals." Chinyu stepped in front of me, her voice trembling but determined. "This is sacred ground, Patrick. You have no power here." Patrick's laughter was harsh and mocking. "Sacred ground? You think stones and dirt can stop me? Our bond is stronger than that. You belong to me, Ebera, and so does our child." The fog grew thicker, closing in, and I felt Patrick's presence pushing against the barrier of the sacred ground. The stones around us flickered, and fear gripped my heart. What if the sacred ground wasn't strong enough? The baby kicked violently inside me, sending another wave of pain through my body. I fell to my knees, clutching my belly as the world spun around me. "Chinyu, what do we do?" I gasped, struggling to stay conscious. The fog was closing in, and I could feel Patrick's cold, evil energy pressing against the barrier. Before Chinyu could answer, Baba appeared from the shadows, his eyes filled with determination. He held a staff carved with ancient symbols, its tip glowing with a bright, golden light. "Patrick, you have no place here. I banish you back to the world of the dead." Patrick snarled, his form flickering as the power of the sacred ground pushed against him. "You think you can banish me, old man? This isn't over. Ebera, you cannot escape your fate." But Baba's voice grew stronger, chanting ancient words that filled the air with power. The stones around us began to glow brighter, and the fog started to pull back. Patrick screamed as the light surrounded him, growing brighter until it was blinding. "Remember this, Ebera," Patrick's voice echoed as his form began to fade. "Our bond is eternal. You may have won this time, but I will return." With a final, ear-splitting scream, Patrick's spirit was torn from this world, vanishing into the darkness. The wind died down, and the heavy feeling lifted, leaving only the faint echo of his voice in the night. But the ordeal wasn't over. The baby was coming, and the pain was becoming too much. My vision blurred, my body shaking as I tried to hold on. "Baba, please, the baby." I gasped, barely able to speak. Baba knelt beside me, placing his hands on my belly. His touch was warm and calming. "Ebera, you must push now. The child must be born on sacred ground, where no evil can reach." I nodded, tears streaming down my face as I used all the strength I had left. The world around me seemed to disappear, the only thing that mattered was bringing my child into the world. With a final, desperate push, I felt a release, and then silence. I thought I had failed. But then, I heard it, the baby's cry, cutting through the darkness like a ray of light. I collapsed back onto the earth, holding my child close, feeling their tiny heartbeat against my chest. Baba and Chinyu looked down at us, their faces filled with relief. "You've done it, Ebera," Baba said softly. "Your child is born under the protection of the sacred ground." As I held my baby, I knew that we had survived, for now. But Patrick's words lingered in my mind. He would return. And when he did, I would be ready.
If you like the story, please like, comment, and subscribe. Watch out for another story titled Cursed Symbol